it's Seda, Gourmet Next Door. How are you guys doing? It's a beautiful day here in Dubai and it's 4:15 p.m. I worked really hard all day today. I had many conference calls. So then I was thinking today I want to make myself a little treat with my 5 o'clock tea. We have to treat ourselves, right? I mean, I've been also very good all week. So today I will be baking for you. Yes, I don't bake, you know me. But today my recipe, I will be baking something pretty simple. So I think I can manage. So we will be making muffins, but not any muffin. This is a dark chocolate walnut muffin made with almond flour. Exactly, you heard it. So it is a keto muffin, but there's no compromise on taste. And you know I work in taste industry, so definitely you can trust me. This recipe is going to amaze you. So my ingredients, very briefly, I'm going to use some almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, baking powder, I have my erythritol, I got my almond flour, I have some butter, I have some Greek yogurt, I'm going to add a bit of vanilla extract, I got my walnuts, my beautiful Lindt chocolate. And yeah, the number, you can see it, right? 90%. So it's super dark chocolate. It's decadent, it's rich, amazing. And then I also have 3 eggs here. So that is all my ingredients. The thing about baking is, yeah, you have to measure everything, but honestly, when you throw things together, it just cooks itself. So it's very low maintenance from that perspective. Now what I've done before is I put the oven to 180 degrees for preheating purposes. When you bake anything, you want to go low and slow, okay? Don't rush the baking process. Because of that, you usually want to bake around 180, maximum 200 for some recipes. But this one, 180. I also have prepared my beautiful muffin tray with my really nice and cheerful muffin cups. So before we start with anything, I want to go ahead and melt my butter. So I'm going to use about half a cup of butter. So I just want to show you, this is my half cup measure and I kind of cut up to fit. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's okay. It just gives you an idea, right? So this goes into this pan. I'm going to go ahead and melt the butter. The butter, you don't want to burn it, so make sure your temperature is like medium. We will separate 2 bowls here. One, I will put my dry ingredients. The other one, I'm going to go ahead and keep my wet ingredients. This is the only thing I know in baking. You want to basically separate the ingredients, wet and dry, and then combine them later. So don't throw the wet with the dry and the wet and the dry. It just doesn't work, okay? That's my tip for you, see? I know 1 or 2 things about baking. I'm not that, shy on information. So I have 3 eggs here. I'm gonna go ahead and basically crack them into my bowl here. Now the next step is you want to take a hand mixer and you want to froth up the eggs. The reason for that is when you actually put air into the eggs, whatever you're baking is going to be so much more fluffier, okay? That's essentially the purpose. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this guy on. And we will go ahead and blend the eggs. Yeah, Bruno gets scared of mixing. It's okay, Bruno. I just want to show you how nice and frothy my eggs look. This is what you should be shooting for. So what I was saying is you don't want to take the melted butter and put it into the eggs right now because then you will have scrambled eggs. So you don't want that, right, with your muffin. So let's wait for the butter to cool down a little bit. In the meantime, I will go ahead and add my yogurt. So we will be putting half cup of yogurt. You see the yogurt? Now what this does, it actually keeps it very moist. So that's why I love to put yogurt into this muffin. So now we will add the almond milk. I love the Alpro brand. It's unsweetened, but it has this really nice roasted almond taste. So here I will be using 3 tablespoon measure. So now I want to add my melted butter, and I will be mixing along the way my eggs and the yogurt, and put the butter in slowly, not all at once. So the temperature, it's called tempering. So you basically temper the eggs as you're adding the butter. So now I will take the mixer and I will actually blend all my wet ingredients. At this point, I want to go ahead and add my vanilla extract. Vanilla is one of those amazing spices. It's just warming. So I'm going to go ahead and eyeball it, and I will go ahead and finish blending. So the wet ingredients are all done. Now what I would like to do is measure my dry ingredients. So we set aside the wet ingredients, and now I will go ahead and do my dry ingredients. So we have 2 cups of almond flour. I'm going to go ahead and measure. In addition to the almond flour, I will go ahead and add baking powder. And I will only use 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now with almond flour, of course, it's not like regular flour, so the rising effect will be much less. And that's why we have to put a little bit more than what you would put on a regular recipe. And then I will go ahead and add my sugar. So again, I'm using Erythritol, and I will go ahead and put 1/3 cup. Do you see, this looks like sugar, but it's not sugar. And that's the beauty of it. So you can have your sweets, but not really compromise your low carb lifestyle. So with a whisk, you want to go ahead and actually stir your dry ingredients. Now I'm going to move to the most fun part of this process, which is actually chopping up the walnuts. I'm actually not going to chop them. I'm going to go ahead and break them by hand because I really like the texture this way. Now, I told you, I'm so excited to use the Lindt chocolate. So this is 90%. So as I mentioned, it's extremely bitter. Now for me, it's fine because I love this kind of chocolate. But if you are, sensitive, you could go anything above 70 is good because it has less sugar and it's much better. It's high in antioxidants and it's delicious, absolutely delicious. Into my dry ingredients, first of all, my walnuts. So I will go ahead and hand chop, walnuts. Now guys, one thing interesting about chocolate is you never want to store chocolate in the fridge, okay? Because what ends up happening is in the fridge, the chocolate will get cold and the fat in the chocolate will kind of surface up to the top. So when you open it next time, you're gonna see all these white spots and things like that. I'm sure you've seen that. So that's totally normal. So instead of that, just store your chocolate on a cool, dry place indoors, room temperature. Nothing too hot, nothing too cold. Now the other thing with chocolate is extremely porous, meaning if you put it next to spices or something, your chocolate will be infused with spices. So whatever chocolate is near, it's going to soak up those smells and aromas and flavors. So make sure you store chocolate on its own. I want every single muffin to have a healthy dose of walnuts. I don't like a muffin that's just you bite into it and there's like one piece of one thing in it and you're like, that's it, really? So these are gonna be loaded with goodness. Now I will go ahead and actually I'm gonna put this whole bar. So this whole bar is about 100 grams. So it's 100 grams of chocolate. So you want to take the chocolate and you want to take your big chef's knife. I'll sneak another piece. When people were stocking up on like toilet paper and things like that, I was stocking up on chocolate. Yes, you better believe it. Because that's honestly, especially when you're following a healthy lifestyle, you don't want to give up everything. I mean, that's boring. So I still want my chocolate, but I want to make sure that I'm eating the best kind. So I kind of stocked up on my 90% chocolate. Sorry, Bruno, mommy can't give you this. Chocolate is something I can never ever give up on. I love it so much. I love it so much. I mean, how do you think I managed being single all these years? Thanks to chocolate. Thank you, chocolate. The chocolate halo. Woo. So now I have my wet ingredients, and I will go ahead and add my my dry ingredients into the batter. And this is essentially our batter. So I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm just going to make sure that everything is mixed. One thing with baking, from my limited knowledge that I will share with you, is you don't want to overmix, because if you overmix, you actually can make the dough really tough. It's absolutely delicious. So for the muffin cups, I would urge you to use these little things, and then you can go ahead and spray them. I use this spray. You can basically use things like butter, coconut oil, things like that, but it's just easier. So just go ahead and basically... Now for the batter, what is an awesome hack is use an ice cream scoop. Because with the ice cream scoop, it's so easy. You just go ahead and take your batter and then you drop it. So this way, first of all, your muffins will be the same size. So now all I have to make is actually a nice cup of tea. You know, when my mom made pastries and cakes and things, I used to lick the bowl. Nothing wrong with that, right? I might even do that when the camera's off. One tip is, when you fill your muffins like this, just tap it a little bit on the counter, so all the air bubbles will run away, and you're gonna end up with really squishy, nice muffins that are exploding with flavor. So, done. This is going in the preheated oven at 180. So I just heard the buzzer. The muffins are ready. Let's check. Oh, I want to show you these beauties. Amazing. Now, you know the way to check if a baked good is done is you're gonna stick a toothpick and see if it actually comes out clear. So instead of a toothpick, I'm actually gonna use a knife. So let's go ahead and stab this one. And it's clean, which means it's cooked. So I'm brewing my tea. As you can see, I'm using Earl Grey. This is my favorite type of tea in the whole world. So one thing you want to do is when you take out your baked good, make sure you actually put it on this cooling rack so the air can circulate around the goodness, the baked goodness, and it can actually be nice and delicious. Look at how pretty, gorgeous. So let's see which one is the one I want to go for. They all look so nice. But this one looks like it has a lot of chocolate. You see it? So I'm gonna go for that one. I just want to show you this. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's nice, it's moist, it's flaky. Let's try it. It's so moist because of the yogurt and the almond milk. It's absolutely delicious. I'm telling you, you're not gonna miss the regular flour. So now let's go ahead and serve our tea. Oh, look at this beautiful color. It smells very nice. This is perfect tea time. Just because you're home alone doesn't mean you can't have fun, enjoy delicious food, and be grateful. So, stay home, stay safe, eat more keto muffins, drink more tea, and until next time, ciao!